Okay, impromptu movie review of Stay the Night. Not that anyone even wants my opinion on this, but I think, when did Stay the Night come out? I don't know. Let me see. It's like a romantic, I wouldn't call it a comedy. It's more like a drama, if you could call it that. But it's like a romance. Yeah, I guess a drama, but it's not dramatic. It's more like life drama sort of thing. And it's on Tubi. Let me see. Stay the Night. Came out 2022, so pretty recently. Well, I didn't think it was slightly older than that. It feels like a pandemic movie. Maybe they filmed it in the pandemic because it feels very pandemic like. But it only has a 6.7 out of 10 on IMDb. I thought it was really good. Not usual romance, finally quirky, different. Yeah, I don't know who. Simple yet exhausting. This movie is about an autistic woman who struggles to connect with other beings. First of all, they never say that she's autistic. That's what I love about IMDb. Like, I will look through these reviews and just laugh because people on IMDb are so funny. It's so underrated. Like, everyone's talking about, like, Letterboxd. And I'm sure Letterboxd is hilarious, but there's something about IMDb. It's always, like, millennials / Gen Xers who, like, literally don't give a shit. And they will, like, be so non-PC in like the best way possible. Like, they are hysterical. Tried to capture the Rocky magic with the skate scene but falls flat. I'm dead. Why are they referencing Rocky in a romantic movie? Like, this has nothing to do with Rocky. It's not even set in the same place. I think this movie is set in Canada. I'm crying. The reason for my 5-star rating is because I thought it was a series. Like, what is wrong with you? Anyway, I'm getting sidetracked. This is a really good movie, okay? And I definitely recommend everyone see it. Like, there's something about this movie that alters my brain chemistry. It gives me the same feeling that, like, Twilight did when I first watched it. And not that they are comparable in any sense of the word. It's more so the feeling of, like, the lived-inness of the setting. Like, it has a, like, tone and feel that, like, Twilight also had a tone and a feel. There are two different tones and feels, but they're both, like, capsulating something, like, very much something. Like, I feel like if you're from, I think it's set in Toronto or something, like in Canada somewhere. If you're from that, you could feel it. Just like if you're from Washington, you can feel, like, Twilight. Like, I don't know, there's a texture, there's a look, there's, like, a vibe to it, and it stays throughout the entire movie. I love that. Like, Save the Night has, like, a kind of has a greenish kind of tone, like a earthy tone to, like, the cinematography and the look, and it feels like you are in the city with them. Like, it feels like you are there, you are walking around. Like, the city is a character in the movie, and I love that. And it felt like so, like, the characters didn't feel like generic characters, like filler. They felt like real people who, like, were lived in. And there's something that I love about the way they do the romance in this movie. Like, spoiler alert, the way it ends, it leaves you, like, very open. Like, it leaves you feeling like these two characters, like, this is a passing moment in their lives, and, you know, they may end up back together in, you know, in the future, who knows. But it feels like this was a story about their development as characters more than anything, and the romance was a way of getting there. And I feel like in a lot of, like, movies and TV shows, like, there's such emphasis on the happy ever after ending. Like, that's the eventual goal. It's like the whole point of the movie is eventually to get to this ending where, like, they're together and forever, and, like, everything's great and perfect, and, like, there's all the conflicts are resolved. And what I appreciated in this movie is, like, it felt like true life. Like, I've definitely, like, had romantic entanglements with people where it never gave, like, this is my forever person, but it was also so important to, like, my growth and development as a human being. And that's what this kind of gave me. It gave me, like, these are two people passing by in the nighttime, but, like, they will remember this night for the rest of their lives, and this will impact them for the rest of their lives. And this, like, the final scene is just something I just watch it again, and it blows my mind every time, because there's something beautiful about, number one, the fact that the male character in this, like, even though he's the hockey player, he's the famous one or whatever, he helps her come out of her shell and, like, date, and, like, how to open up to people, and, like, open up herself to life experiences and romance. And, like, he helps her, like, find the confidence, because the final scene is like her on a bus, and like a guy comes and sit next to her on the bus, and it's like her looking up at him. You can't see his face, but it's like it ends with her looking up on him, and the idea is like, oh, maybe she's actually going to speak with him and interact with him, whereas like through the whole movie she was so shy and hesitant to open herself up to people and put herself out there, which can be a very daunting thing. But like this guy that she meets, this hockey player, gives her the confidence to interact with life and like have romances and be open. And she towards him, because his whole thing is like he just got fired from his NHL team, and this night like is the night before he finds out like if he's going to stay, like if he's going to be traded to another NHL team, or if he's going to be like put in the minors. So he's like a nervous wreck, and he's like very much like negative self-talk, being like, I suck, I'm horrible, like I'm going to go to the minors, like everything's gonna be shit and like everything's gonna be bad. And she like helps him reframe his like thought process of like, you already achieved the thing. You did what most people want to get in their entire lives, which is be in the NHL. You've reached the pinnacle of your career. And so this may be a wake-up call. This may be something where you can just hunker down and focus on, perfecting your craft, and you can get back there. Like, it's possible. And like at the end, he is in the airport going to Syracuse, and then he has this moment where he looks up at like the escalator, and he like starts walking up the escalator himself, and it feels like this is him walking into this future, walking into Syracuse with an open mind, with an open heart, and willing to put in the hard work and dedication to better himself, and like a willingness to like be like, okay, this is a roadblock, but this is something I have to work on, and I'm willing to put in this energy and this effort, and I don't have this negative outlook that I had before. And it's just like, I felt like they didn't change each other, because they're so fundamentally same people. Obviously, it's one night, but they really, you could tell. I appreciated that the romance was really shown in a way of like how romance should be. Like, there's too much focus on like the happy ever after, forever, ever and ever, because that's really not reality. But I appreciated it highlighted like the beauty in the moment, the beauty in the passing by, the beauty in like interacting and meshing with a person and leaving with a new outlook, a new perspective, greater confidence. That's what to me romance is about. Like, that's why I love the romance genre, because like romance is at the heart of everything. And romance doesn't necessarily have to be between like, intimacy or like a actual like sexual feeling. Like, romance to me, like life is romantic. Like a setting can be romantic. A poem can be romantic. Even if it's not sexual, it's still romance. It's still like liveliness, a fun, a lightness, dalliance. Like, there's just something like life is romantic to me, and I love romance, and I feel like you can learn a lot about people through their romantic connections. And romance also has to do with like sociology and like psychology and how people interact and function. And when you add sex to it, it gets even messier, which I love. Romance is at the center of like human experience, and that's why I love the romance genre. And I loved this movie because I've seen it, so I think this is like my third rewatch. And I can't help but give it a 10 out of 10. Is there a pacing problem throughout? Yeah. But like, more than anything, it's a story about two people. And I appreciate that. I don't need it to be rushed. I don't need it to be like a hyper octane thing. Like, I appreciate the slowness. I appreciate the development. And that's what makes the ending so much sweeter, because you really do get to know these characters. You learn their insecurities and their thoughts and their doubts and their motivators, and like how they view themselves and how the world views them. And it's just so interesting. And at the end, you get this like nice, it's kind of open, but it's closed, like it's kind of like this thought-provoking thing where both of them are better people because of this night. And even if they never interact again, or this never ever becomes a thing between them, there's just something beautiful about that it occurred and that it happened. And it reminds me a lot of like Normal People. And to me, Normal People, the way it ended, it was anticlimactic, but also that's the beauty in it, because it's also realistic. Like, Do most people end up with their high school sweethearts? No. But normal people was different because they were literally soulmates, and I'm gonna die on that hill. Like, they're gonna be in each other's lives regardless. Like, they can't quit each other. Like, in normal people, Marianne and Connell, they're locked in for life. I'm sorry. Like, they are just peak characters. But anyway, I appreciated it. Was like, now's not our time. We are growing and evolving as people, and this is our story, this is what we went through, but like, also, we don't get a fairy tale happy ending. And I think most of the movies and romances that I really love and cherish and chew on and like really make me reflect on life and people are the ones where you're left pondering, where you're not fed like this, we got married and lived happily ever after, and we had 2.5 kids and lived in a white picket fence. Like, to me, that's not reality. Like I said, it's fantasy, and there's nothing wrong with fantasy. I love me good fantasy, but the ones that stay with me the most and are the most impactful in terms of media are always the ones that leave me with a little bit something to think about, something to wonder, something that doesn't, feed me a story, something that allows me to interpret things. And the best ones are the ones that the characters are so well written and the story so well written, and there's so much surrounding the characters that it leaves me like with multiple scenarios. It leaves me with like so many theories, and it allows me to like think of like what the paths in their lives could be, also reflect on what my path could be or other people, and that's why I really appreciate the sociological aspect of romance, because you learn so much about life and people, and I'm rambling at this point, but I definitely recommend Stay the Night if you're a fan of romances, if you're a fan of humans and character development. I wouldn't recommend it if you're thinking you're going into some kind of like Rocky remake, like that one person on IMDb was. Also, it is not a TV series. FYI, it is a movie. Don't give it a 5 out of 5 on IMDb, please. 5 out of 10 on IMDb for being a movie, because it's definitely a movie. Anyway, good night.